Capricorn. First of all, cheers to any collective Capricorns watching live on Twitch. Y'all are cool. Y'all are amazing. Anyway, that's your reading. I'm kidding. Let's get into this collective reading for Capricorn. We're going to be, I believe, clarifying. The crow really loves Capricorns. And I think we're just going to be clarifying with the crow here. This tarot deck is fairly new in my collection, and it kind of wants to show face. I think it's just mixing well with a lot of my tarot decks right now. But if you want to see a list of all the tarot decks that I have, it is up on my website, and I can definitely put the link here in the Twitch chat. But if you're watching in the future on YouTube, it's the link to my website somewhere in the description. I'm sure you can find it. But anyway, always take what resonates, leave what doesn't. This is going to be for any and all Capricorn placements. If you understand birth chart placements, have discernment with them. If you don't understand birth chart placements, that is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Someone said in chat, and we don't like Geminis, do we? Listen, I ain't gonna throw any shade or hate towards any zodiac sign. I'm just gonna sit here and say we could all side-eye every zodiac sign in some way. You know what I mean? Which brings up a good point of why birth charts are kind of important. We're not exactly our sun sign. I am a Taurus, but I also have a Leo rising, which comes out more often than my Taurus nature. But they just, they go hand in hand a little bit. But this isn't about me. It's about you, Capricorn. Hold on. I feel like I just need a good shuffle. I be side-eyeing everyone. Everyone's got their quirks. It's alright. No worries. Let's get into a clear, honest message for Capricorn. 4 of Cups to start your reading. Excuse me? Excuse me, ma'am? Okay. Overall energy on the bottom of the deck is Knight of Pentacles reversed, or Knight of Coins. We have 4 of Cups, Queen of Cups, 7 of Wands reversed. Okay. Let's get started, shall we? Oh. Okay. The words I'm getting are, you feel as if your own sense of self and sense of your own nature is something you're very, very assured of currently. Now, this gets really complex when it comes to the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups, I literally just feel the image of the stillness in this water. I feel like this water, while it looks like it's moving above water, like on the surface, underneath it feels very quiet and still, and accumulating energy is usually how us readers kind of see a Queen of Cups, or just a queen energy that is silent. Whenever a queen is silent, there's something brewing. There's always a thing back in the mind, in the background, something that people, even the closest to them, can't even see. And that is okay, because it's everyone has their own personal inner journey that they have to go on. We all have our own just personal shit, okay? We all gotta learn how to handle and understand how to handle it in our own way. And just handling the part of understanding. Because sometimes this is just a big lesson in understanding the self and understanding how you can't move forward in expecting the self to be the same old self that it was before. The words that I'm getting are not gonna fully make sense to me because I feel like this is just really genuinely gonna make sense to who it's gonna make sense to. This is why it's so hard for me to remember what I do in, like, tarot reads, is that, like, I just get words and they're just said, and we just go with it. It is what it is. Oh. Sorry, I noticed I looked a little, like, ghost-faced, almost. Oh, okay, that's so much better. I didn't even notice that before. Okay. Sorry, we were having some lighting issues earlier, and, now we're good. Seven of Wands is so tricky. Like, it feels like an energy you haven't even accessed yet. And it's like, okay, no, that's the next chapter. They're still on chapter, like, 53, and they're about to be on chapter 54. But chapter 54 is like, holy shit. Like, just you wait kind of a thing. There's so much that feels literally like a level in a video game, or even like a location. If you know anything about video games, because I'm a nerd, there are games where you can literally just roam freely. You can explore the world. It's kind of the point of the game, is you can just fucking explore anything you want. I'm explaining this to people who don't play video games, for anyone who's wondering. And when it comes to certain free roam games, that's what they're called, you just free roam, you have certain games that literally block off access to, like, a forest or something, or, like, a desert, or, like, a beach, or a part of a beach location. Usually sometimes in, like, very, like, kind of difficult games like Dark Souls, it would be, like, a cave or a dungeon that's, like, blocked off. I don't know if it's blocked off in Dark Souls exactly, but it's something you have to be essentially leveled up or have a certain skill that's leveled up to be able to get into this area and even try to attempt to defeat this dungeon, cave, boss, level, battle, whatever it is in the game. There's always, like, a reason behind not being able to access those parts in the game, and it has to do with you aren't leveled up enough. And it's not in a way to put you down. This is where the stillness kind of is like, Capricorns are like, wait, what did you mean by that? Just because I'm not leveled up enough isn't a bad thing? Or I shouldn't, like, beat myself up constantly because I'm not at this level, when it's like, no, you have to kind of go through this rite of passage in a way. I think there are a lot of things in life that really make us feel like, oh, we're not skilled enough to do this thing. And I want to word it in the term of, like, or word it and even give the example of, like, athletes in sports. People who are, like, super, not, like, crazy good, but it feels like that they are just a natural at what they do. And I'm going to be honest, the only reason people can feel like a natural at what they do is through just consistent practice. Like, repetition will literally turn into muscle memory at a certain point. So that's where there is a rite of passage for these athletes in a sense, because if anyone were to put the same amount of work and the same amount of training and dieting and just, like, mental exercise that certain athletes do, or whatever, I want to say, activity that is strenuous, that almost, like, can be a professional job, sport, thing, career. Looking at professionals, it's like, if you spent that time, you would be just as professional as them. And it's the time that they have taken to really stay consistent in really just that main path at hand. Because let's say we all have this one main goal in life. It's not just the main goal that counts and that matters and that has to be focused on. You gotta make sure all your shit, like all your eggs are in a basket, everything in your home, I guess, is good, bills are paid, other like adulting life stuff, and even just all of the things that come with like friends, family, and just wanting to do the things you want to do, like going out or going to see a movie, going on a walk in the park. If you have any pets that you take care of, there's so much that is involved in the main goal in our lives. But obviously, I feel like our main goal for a lot of us, it's not like an exact goal. It's like, oh, I kind of would like to be in this position in life, and it's like things would become clearer. What if that position in life came a lot sooner than you thought? What if you had the knowledge? It's weirdly to say, I hate, this sounds like so like, I'm gonna sound like a fucking crypto nerd and like sound like I'm selling a course or something. If you had the mindset of a billionaire, how would you change your act or lifestyle or way of living or behavior or patterns and thoughts and habits? What would change if you knew that you could at least have a certain level of sustainability? Because it's not just stability, it's sustainability. It's something that is strong and also can last a long time. Even if it's just the structure of your own home or the structure of your whole life in general. If it was all stable and it was all A-okay and everything was good and you got everything done and it wasn't a worry, but you still had to like work for it, what would change about your mind? What would change? I ain't gonna let you try and fall back in the tarot deck. Now, the Fool card came out. Don't worry about it. You're not a fool. For anyone who doesn't know tarot, anytime the Fool card comes up, I want you to think of a human being starting out on something brand new in life that has no idea how the journey is going to go. They understand it's going to be difficult and they need to work hard, but they go out and do it anyway. Even though they're fucking terrified deep down, but they just can't explain that this is the thing that's meant for them. It's something that is a very strong feeling within, it's very different within each and every one of us. I think the only way I really get to fully explain it is if I explain it in my own terms of like how passionate I am about like tarot and dancing, and especially now that I found flow arts and stuff. Flow arts and dancing are just so like meditative, and the fact that I have this meditative practice mixed in with my tarot, it's like all this stuff is interconnected and it pulls me forward. This is the energy of finding the interconnectedness of it all. This is why the Seven of Wands is like, you can't access this yet because you need to understand and like do your homework of, okay, you're not going to understand. Let's say your homework is to, at some point, your homework is going to lead up to reading a whole textbook. And you're like, well, if I just read the whole thing now, I won't have homework for the rest of the year. And interesting. I feel like, it's like, yeah, you could do that, but damn, you're gonna fucking overwork yourself. And there's a moment to understand that you're not gonna fully get and wrap your head around section 12, chapter 3. I don't know how, or chapter 12, section 3. I don't know, I haven't picked up a textbook in like 5 years. Almost like, no, 7 years. Hello. Okay, since these three just, like, poured out like water on the literal water card. We're just gonna leave that there. I'm gonna cut off whatever I was saying right there, and we're gonna talk about this. Four of Cups clarification. The Fool, the Three of Cups reversed, and the Four of Wands. Very interesting. Cups came out, right? We have the 4, right? And we have 4 here, and cups. Interesting. You are embarking on a new, I even think just a new way of seeing life. I think there's a little bit of magic in the air, and it feels a little disorienting. And this is where this, like, rest card comes into place, because as soon as you're like, why does life feel so weirdly mystical right now? Like, you're almost trying to understand it, because every time it feels like really good, mystical, magical, I feel like moments like that is just when we really feel alive in the moment. There's a lot of emotion. There's so much that comes up. And I want to say that, like, you have a whole giant great sword of emotions coming up in your mind when you actually give it time to explore these thoughts. But it's a giant ass sharp sword that you gotta understand if you have the strength at the time to lift it. So this is where I didn't really want to talk about the Four of Cups initially, because there was something missing, and I think this is where it really explains how you understand that Four of Cups out there, that fourth cup that usually is depicted in, hey, we have to move forward with that cup, right? Because there's 3 down here, and then there's the 4th one back there, and I think this is where you're trying to find time to really allow yourself to let go of the 3 cups. There's a I want to say, I'm trying to find my words and word my shit carefully and actually make it make sense. Make it make sense. My brain is so cryptic, and I'm like, I get it, and I'm like, how do I break this down, because this is not even a word, it is like a thought, it is a feeling almost too, because it's something that feels like it's like this opportunity to move forward and to gain this knowledge and wisdom is like right behind you, and then you are looking back and like, okay, I see it, I acknowledge it, I need to understand how to deal with these 3 cups, whether or not you need to, like, should I stay, should I go, kind of a thing. And this is where this sword becomes very, very sharp, and I feel like there's an energy of not needing, or even part of you not wanting to pick up this sword, which in my theory is picking up the 3 of Cups. The 3 of Cups always represents this, we're picking up old habits, old things that don't really fulfill us, and we're like, oh, I guess that I somehow make this work. But then there's that one cup that has kind of a 3-in-1, maybe a 4-in-1 kind of deal going on over there. Or maybe it has 2 things in one. But it's more ideal than what is going on currently with the energy you are giving into yourself and into, like, everything around you. It feels like micromanaging your life in a way. And that's just, you are uncomfy with that. So you are looking at this 4th cup like, okay. The 4th cup is essentially just needing to be observed and looked at. You don't need to pick up this sword here to truly and fully understand how to understand it, process it, embody it. Clarifying the Queen of Cups, we have the Eight of Cups, the Magician, and the Queen of Wands. Very, very beautiful combination. You have a lot about you that's calling for more. And what strength is there in you, Capricorn, if you just sit around and wait? You're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna watch that pass by. But I'm a Capricorn. Capricorns, I feel like, listen, don't fuck with a Capricorn. Don't. Just don't. They are like Scorpios. If you know anything about a Scorpio, Scorpios are very just intimidating people right off the bat. Capricorns have this intimidating nature that is underneath this very soft, like motherly kind of like, I'm a mother that can hold like a whole village together kind of a thing. Capricorns, I always explain, are earth energies that they don't just build like the structure of homes, they build the structure of empires and like civilizations and even like villages, essentially, you could say, communities, neighborhoods, like giant, larger than themselves things, but there's still a service to yourself that you need to provide. Sorry. Whatever kind of service that is, there's some healing in that. I'm gonna say, if we're all adults here, we should all be adults in the room. My thing is, at least on Twitch here, is age restricted, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I should, because I always say my YouTube videos are not for kids, so it doesn't show it to kids, right? Or at least anyone who has the kids app. I don't fucking know. YouTube is confusing. But we're gonna talk about some adult things in a sense. But it's in a way that I think... Oh. And? Really? Tell me more. And? No way. That's crazy. I know. She did the little, like, when she first meowed, she, like, sang a little bit. You did a little tune, a little melody, man. That was nice. I liked it. That's why I entertained her conversation, because I was like, hello? Getting back into the reading, I was talking about servicing yourself. And while we can all sit here and giggle and yeah, there is a certain topic we forget to talk about, and it is the literal definition of intimacy and being intimate with yourself. This is a very, like, spiritual thing that is also seen as something very mundane, in my opinion, because people are like, oh, you just feel good and you finish, but at the same time, like, all of that is, like, energy that's building up. And this can be a very, like, spiritual and even healing act if you are somebody that has a lot of essential, I hate to say traumas, because I don't want to speak on anyone's trauma, because I don't know everyone. This is a collective reading. You don't necessarily have to have trauma to want to explore yourself, though. I think there's both sides to this, of healing due to whatever trauma. But this is, like, a genuine, like attraction to yourself, so you can at least, it's like it's self-care. It is literally, like, you go take a shower, make yourself feel good, you know, like, like, get sudsy as fuck. Get all the bubbles on you. Have fun. And just, like, just give yourself, like, I think just the comfort you need when it comes to, like, the physical touch. You can give yourself this, and it's important that you do, because it doesn't have to be as sexual or as, like, crazy, like, intimate as we can, like, giggle that we're giggling about it, you know? I feel like people make infantilize, is that the word? I don't know the word. I want to say, like, at least sexualize the self-care part more than it actually is, because it doesn't have to essentially be you, like, finishing. It could literally just be you, like, feeling yourself up in the shower because you are appreciating your own body. This is my person in this life, and I am existing, and this body I have is pretty darn cool. No matter what, I don't care what you look like. I don't give a fuck what you look like. Nobody's goddamn perfect. People get their goddamn teeth bleached white because they're too fucking insecure to know that bones aren't exactly, like, bleach fucking white. That, like, bones are just not gonna be that super fucking pristine white that you see in those weird... Anyway. Everyone's not... Like, even certain skinny people, when you look at them, aren't as, like, skinny as you think they are. Like, everyone has different bits of fat everywhere. Everyone has different deformities in every different thing, and you may not notice the little things, but also people are gonna notice the big things. And at the same time, I'm sitting here like, everyone has a different human. We all have a different character we're playing in this game of life that we all get one shot at. No respawns. I think everyone's character's really fucking cool. I think everyone's, like, person is essentially an embodiment of your character. But at the same time, this is where it's like, if you feel unhealthy and you're like, I could be healthier, do not for one fucking second sit there and blame yourself. I don't want you to think back to anything that is of blame. I want you to think of, what's something easy that I could do that is essentially either drinking more water, eating more veggies and fruit and shit like that, because I even struggle with that. But the only reason I feel like I'm kind of healthy is that I kind of eat lunch and breakfast, and then I eat a big dinner, and then I'll fucking on sweets. If I drink a lot of soda, I gain weight fast. But I will have certain things of, like, okay, I will at least have a veggie with my meal, like, 4 days out of my week, because whatever happens on, like, a Friday, or even, like, 3 or 4 days, I try to at least make it more than 2 and more than 1. But that's the thing, it doesn't have to be, like, insanely perfect. It can just be like, how can I make something easier and either incorporate, like, something in your diet a bit easier. Because I think this is, like, there's something that just needs to be figured out how to be more convenient. Because this is where, when you are recognizing this intimacy with yourself, you start to become aware of your body. And this is where I think the more awareness you have of your body, the more you just want to be healthier for it. But you can be healthy in your own way. You don't have to be skinny. Healthy comes in so many different shapes and sizes. Like, genuine, healthy people come in so many different shapes and sizes. And I want to tell you right now, the healthiest people aren't perfect either. I saw somebody that looks so skinny and so much... There was, like, another female looking person that was just... looked really strong, really, like, skinny, and I pretty much watched them have one of their, like, I don't know what they had, but it was essentially, they would have fainting episodes, and they would essentially feel their muscles getting weak before they would faint, and they were, like, carefully trying to get off this machine while they were trying to at least find a comfortable spot to experience the, like, fainting episode that they knew that they were gonna have. But it just reminded me of, like, we are all going through our own things and just trying to be healthy so we don't get hurt, essentially. We don't either get hurt by all the crap that is fucking put in some of this fucking junk food these days. Jesus Christ. Don't get hurt by my knees hurt too much to even stand up, because, listen, everyone deserves to at least walk. But enjoy the outdoors. Whether it's a walk or a ride in the outdoors, there's a certain level to this of, like, you want access to your life. Capricorns are very like, I want access to my life, so have access to yourself. This is where intimacy does not become a sexual thing. Intimacy becomes a romantic thing. And I think this is a big, giant, like, self-exploration, because while sex can be involved in the sort of romantic intimacy, there is also a moment to explore where it doesn't have to be, like, super, super sexualized. And there's nothing wrong with laughing at it and, like, oh, I'm gonna go masturbate and as self-care. Like, it sounds silly, and to some people it can sound fucking gross, but at the same time, there's a deeper meaning, understanding through all of this essential intimacy part of it. Because this is a big key theme here. And the more you understand your own body and what your body likes and what your body is, like, feels good when it takes in, like, when I eat healthy and I'm eating fruits and I'm making sure I'm, like, eating certain things that I do that for, like, a certain little time. I think it's, like, a small spike in, like, a health kick where I'll, like, oh, I'm really good about eating, and then it just kind of falls off because that stuff kind of gets expensive over time. And I love strawberries. Strawberries are so good. But my body feels different. Your body, I don't care who you are, if you start eating healthier, the healthy things that you like, excuse me, ma'am, your body will essentially feel better. There's a candle here, and I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want you to get hurt. Let me put her away. Give me 1 second here. Alright. Now, the cats are slightly put away. I want to get back on the topic of genuinely eating healthier is going to make your body feel better. Like, it's not... there's no conspiracy that it's not gonna work. Like, that's just what happens. Like, your body and your brain will feel better. And when you are actively choosing things that essentially make your body, like, feel good, you gotta go with it. And not necessarily run with it, but use it. Some of you need to use it as a tool of manifestation. I don't know who you are. If you, there's one person that I know is a Capricorn. And I saw a TikTok. And I completely forgot about it until I saw the stuff in this reading. I don't even know if they would... I don't know if they would watch the stream. Sometimes they lurk randomly. If your name is Moon, or Shaman Moon, you gotta do that magic, sweet pea. I love you. I love you, mamas. You are... in needing you, it's coming up in my readings. I'm not even reading for you. This is a collective thing, so just so you know. I don't know who's got any other heavy Capricorn energy, but if you are into the spell crafting kind of sorts, it's time to do some magic. And use a lot of this, what just makes your body feel good, in the sense of, if you are driving, like, alright, let's be honest. We all felt like we could be just, like, belting certain songs that we love in the car, but I feel like over time we just kind of, like, lose that sense of joy. But there's moments, I think, that it makes you feel not just alive, but like free. Free from the, I think, free from the lack of the belief in yourself. Free from any doubt and fear that I think you've had. And this is where I think this leveling up starts to take place. A card that literally represents your soul integrating with itself. Excuse me. The ego and the higher self, the light and the dark, the yin and yang. Everyone's got this yin and yang nature within us, is what a lot of spiritual people believe, for anyone who isn't educated on those spiritual things. I want you to look real closely, which I thought this was so clever. The little, like, Illuminati looking eye. The eye in itself represents wisdom and intuition, psychic, higher awareness. The triangle, and the reason why there's always an eye depicted in this triangle, and it looks like Illuminati and stuff, is the triangle in that position, like when it's upright like this, not like this. That is something else. If you've seen the Jim Carrey clip, you know. This kind of triangle, right? Ooh, there we go. Ting. When it's upright, it means essentially a lot of, like, not, some people word it, like how I've heard it worded is, you're ascending to a higher level of consciousness. In my mind, you're just becoming more aware of yourself and more enlightened about the world around you, and mainly yourself in all of this talk that we're talking about. This one is pretty lengthy. Capricorn, what you doing? Got me out here, like, what are we, almost 40 minutes into the recording? We're at 37 minutes into the recording. This is a long one. There were some ones, earlier this week, that were like 20 minutes. Or like 25. Clarifying the Seven of Wands reverse is the Two of Cups, the Worlds. And I may as well just pull it out, because I saw it twice. I just didn't pull it out, but the High Priestess kept showing face. And if you know tarot and you know of the High Priestess, we have the 9 and 10 of Cups here on the bottom of the deck. Oh, okay. Alrighty. Actually, before we put that down, overall energy, 9 of Cups, and then underneath that is the 10 of Cups, right there. Two of Cups, the World, King of Wands. We have King and Queen of Wands out here. And what was I saying about the integration of the self? The integration of one's soul here. Really bringing two sides of yourself, and it's like becoming anew. There's so much, like, right after saying that, like, that's almost all that needs to be said, essentially. I'm going to clarify it a bit more in some words, but it's like all that is becoming of you is becoming anew in, I think, almost every aspect you wanted it to be in, even if it doesn't look how you thought it would look in the past. It's still, like, ideally the goals that you've wanted and achieved, and even, like, the key bit of knowledge that you've wanted to gain on all of this. And when I talk about this key bit of knowledge, there's a lot of this that you're only going to understand in the moment. So the big advice is you have to be romantically intimate to, or at least you have to be romantically intimate to yourself in order to understand and almost feel this like aha moment that like everything kind of makes sense. Like, this is what makes me feel good, and I actually feel good doing this for myself. And that turns into, hey, I feel good actually like pursuing the things I want to pursue in smaller steps. But if you just start with like the simplest thing of servicing yourself, really understanding what your body likes is so key. Like, it's nothing to be ashamed of or like cringed. Like, I feel like people get nervous because it's such a taboo topic in some places, and it's like, oh, I want to talk about that with my parents or whatever, kind of a thing. Like, it just is very like, I get it's not. It's a touchy subject. But it needs to be explored and educated upon. There's a lot of education that comes about with just, I was going to say self-intimacy, but it's the knowledge of understanding what your body likes and how your body can even just feel safe. Because a big part of like intimacy that is in the romantic part and the sexual part is being safe. Like, feeling safe going out and like taking yourself out on a park date. You just go and you get out this like nice comfy like blanket, throw it out on the grass, and you're sitting by a lake and you're just feeling good, and you really don't care if people think that you're sitting weird or if you're laying down, or if you want to take a nap out there. You're just kind of letting your body gain the loving it needs. It's a lot of just not even physical attraction to the self, but physical attraction in, oh, I feel good, I want to do this. Because it's physical attraction to things in your life, you know? I implore you to really explore intimacy in a romantic way for yourself, because it doesn't always need to be sexual. It needs to at least be explored in a romantic way, because that's the true enlightenment I think you're going to gain, is exploring this romantic, intimate part with yourself. Because you're the only one that will allow yourself to open up the door. So, I implore you to explore it, open up that door, and open up yourself to your own sense of love, Capricorn. So, thank you. I thank you for being here with me with this pretty lengthy reading. I just really had to, like, explain things. We were talking about some very complicated and complex topics. So, feel free to rewatch this if you didn't really understand, because this is going to be on YouTube later, or if it's not on YouTube, the Twitch VOD automatically publishes when I am done streaming, so once the stream is done, you can rewatch it at any time up to, I think, like 30 days, and then Twitch pretty much says, we don't got enough storage for that, we gotta delete that. So, I implore you to do all the advice things the reading was saying, because I could repeat myself a million times over, but I feel like I don't really need to or have to. So thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me read your cards. We are not ending on Twitch just yet, but if you're watching in the future on YouTube, thank you for watching, and I appreciate you being here, and I hope to see y'all on the next one. Peace.